Bull or bear? Got a good spin on this one, using that 17.99 Spanish 8 real pillar dollar, and she comes up a bull, but I don't agree with this one, with where it's been heading and where it looks like they want to drive it tomorrow. Don't forget, it's tomorrow's Monkey Hammer Friday. Take a look at this video or a live cam view I don't very often show, which I should, but the resolution is not that great. It's hard to see in the evening. But I want to point out that this is a live Lauderdale by the Sea cam video. 77 degrees out there, really lovely, kind of windy a little bit. And there's A1A, and I am sitting as we speak live right here somewhere. I can't tell exactly where, not there, but right past this little highway in this area. That's me. Look, I can almost see myself from here. Anyway, not my normal cam, but I thought it was pretty cool. All the fish cams are dark tonight, and I've worn out the Florida Key West cam pretty much. All right, you know, I've said this is an adage of mine. Not mine, I don't own this, but I've said it for quite some time here for years and years and years now. The beauty of owning physical gold, silver, and platinum is that you own it. No one else is holding it for you. And in my opinion, I really strongly believe this. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. You know, allowing other companies, no matter how well-intentioned, no matter how good these companies are, storing it in places that are not within your reach, giving it to other people to hold for you. These are things, I mean, you know, sometimes you're forced in those situations, and for the most part they work. But, you know, possession is 9/10 of the law, and that's kind of a bullshit thing because that's not really true. But to some degree, possession is 9/10 of who has it. So if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And again, this is the beauty of physical gold, silver, and platinum, is that you're not buying a piece of paper, you're not buying a promissory note that says you own something, you're not buying into someone else's scheme even, you know what I mean? But let's move into spot prices, speaking of schemes here. And markets are open. They absolutely have driven it below that $22 mark here, $21.96 in the overnight markets. And again, I think they're aiming for that. We're going to look at the 200-day moving average in silver here shortly. But I believe that's what they're aiming for tomorrow, to knock it below that. Where it goes from there, I'm not quite sure. Could it go a little bit down further? Sure, it could. But again, it just provides a great opportunity to buy the frickin' dip. And I know we talk about buying the frickin' dip all the time. And some of you are just plain dipped out. But meanwhile, just enjoy the ride. Go do something fun or something like that. Don't let it stress you out. It's like buying, you know, you're buying a cheap commodity, even if it is, not even if it is, even though it is manipulated heavily. But remember, manipulated to the downside, not to the upside. You know, a commodity, a valuable commodity like silver or any other valuable commodity that's manipulated by the downside, if you're a buyer, you're the winner in this whole deal. You know, if you're a seller, it's not so good. But meanwhile, keep buying a commodity that's been around for a long time and has held its own as far as fiat currencies go, even though it has been held back by the crooks at the in the Crimex markets. Less than $22 right now. Dipped below that a little bit. I kind of halfway expected this. Again, we're going to look at the chart here. Platinum, the most unloved metal of the three out there, is still sub $1,000, and gold at $1,862. I'm not quite sure what the 200-day moving average is on gold, but I don't worry about gold too much. I don't worry about silver too much. Poor platinum, I do worry about that a little bit, but it's hard not to, poor unloved platinum. But silver and gold, I don't worry. I just see these as opportunities to buy at a little bit lower level before it jumps back up to the higher level again. And then at some point gets out of their control when they lose control of these markets, because that's what these paper shenanigans always do. They end up losing control and the market spins heavily to the upside. But the problem is that they've, in silver particularly, is that they've manipulated these markets for so many decades that when it does spin out of control, ooh, sounds like our finest out there clicking the sirens. They're not after me, don't worry about it. If you did, you would have heard the chair kind of be brushed aside. You would have heard my footsteps boom. There I go. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, anyway, it's been a long day. All right, let's get into the technical aspect of silver, which is the 1 year. And this is what I was talking about earlier today. Ted Butler talks about this, and I've talked about this in videos in the past as well, that the manipulators have to have some kind of narrative to work upon, and the best narratives to work upon are like usually Fed speak. When the Fed comes out and says something, that's when the big crooked commercials like to bang silver with their short positions, and their spoofing and whatever else they do out there in the Crimex markets. But they need news to kind of back up their manipulation to some degree. It can't just be, although it has been. We've seen some big downs in gold and silver with no news, no real reason why we've seen it other than because I think it's just so blatant, it's in your face. They don't need a narrative anymore. But again, I believe that they're aiming to smash it below this 200-day moving average, which what that looks like is somewhere in the $20 range. We've again little sub $22 now. What, $21.96 at the moment? I'll do a quick refresh here. So maybe that's kind of what we're looking at. If they do smash it below that 200-day moving average, what does that mean? I don't know. It's all freaking crooked. It just means that I can buy silver that much cheaper, really, and that's the truth. That's Lily Tomlin would say. That's the truth. All right. That's a aged reference, I guess. Where else am I going to go from here? It's going to be a quick video tonight. This will be the biggest theft of the century. I thought this was a great article. You can read it for free on Zero Hedge. It's by Goldcore. I'll read it to you. It's fairly short. I'll read it to you. Sit down, get your pillow up, prop your pillow up, sit down and relax. Let Uncle Brian read your story. This will be the biggest theft of the century by Goldcore. In 1983, a total of 6,840 gold bars were stolen from a high-security vault in Heathrow in what is still considered to be the crime of the century. 40 years on, and the gold heist is still the biggest single theft of gold in history. I know about this. I read about this. I've probably seen TV specials about it. I think BBC, as they mentioned in this article, is going to do a TV special about it as well. But it still didn't occur to me it is the single biggest theft of gold in history. And what they say here is, what is incredible is that the perpetrators never even expected to steal any gold. They were instead expecting to find around $3 million in cash. And we're going someplace with this, folks. After failing to get into the targeted vault, the armed robbers discovered 3 tons of gold bullion as well as diamonds and cash. Recorded testimony of the security guards recalled the delight of one of the robbers when he realizes some previously looked over gray boxes contain gold bars that are 4 nines, the purest of gold bullion bars. This weekend sees the release of a 6-part, this is what I read earlier, drama, The Gold in UK. The series is based on the infamous 1983 Brinks Matt heist that saw 6 armed men steal over 26 million pounds of gold bullion from million pound. That's equivalent to euro now, but whatever. They're still on the pound. The security deposit depot at Heathrow. Today, that same gold would be worth over 100. I mean, think about that. Meanwhile, that 26 would still be worth, wouldn't buy as much as 26 would back then. But again, we're getting to that point in a moment. They make a good point about that. Accidental treasure hunting. What was supposed to be a quick smash and grab involved a few bags to help carry away 3 million pounds in cash. Soon turned into a protracted, drawn-out operation. The operation ended up taking over 2 hours and catapulted the 6 men in the history books as the perpetrators of the crime of the century. In many ways, the crime is still ongoing. Only half of that gold has ever been recovered. I didn't know that. I'm not sure if you guys did, but kind of, again, cool story here. In total, 6,840 bars were stolen, along with cash and diamonds worth 113,000 pounds. Of course, that tale doesn't end there. It is very difficult to make gold disappear and convert into easily hidden cash. A trail of death and violence has followed the Brinks Matt gold for the last 40 years. The gang ended up roping in a number of nefarious individuals to help them smelt and disperse the gold in order to realize some of its cash value. The proceeds from the robbery are thought to have fueled the London Docklands property boom, as well as the UK cocaine market. Go figure. Worried about the integrity of the London gold bullion market, the Bank of England had to step in and rescue the gold's owners. This is what I found interesting, besides a few other points that are made here. And the banking gold trading arm of Johnson Matthey, when they collapsed a year later. It's coincidental too, because just the other night I was showing you some vintage bars on, not the other night, last night. I believe in last night's Sony Cam video I did. I showed you the, boy, they're busy tonight. And again, they're not after me, folks. Last night I showed you a picture of a Johnson Matthey London bar that was exactly within this time frame. Obviously not stolen because it's, it had Johnson Matthey stamped on it. Our obsession with gold, it goes. The trailers for BBC series have prompted many viewers to recall back to the time when the robbery had just happened. It's fixed in many people's memories. It was such a significant theft, but I wonder if standard robbery of cash would have had the same lasting effect. I suspect not, and that's true. If they had robbed the £3 billion in notes as opposed to that much gold bullion, it wouldn't be a story. Nobody would really care. It certainly wouldn't be the largest heist, too. But there is something about the gold that grabs most people's attention. Take the robbers who stole the gold, for example. There's nothing to suggest that these were men familiar with the spot price of gold. No indication that they saw 6,000 bars of gold and knew how much it was worth. But they did know it was worth making the extra effort to steal. Instead of trying to get at the planned $3 million in cash. Gold is one of the few things we have in common with ancestors from long ago. We desired it 1,000 years ago, 500 years, 100 years ago, and clearly 40 years ago, just as we do today. There are few things we instinctively know about finance and investment, but the need to own gold is one of them. People do understand gold. There's something that I think connects humans with gold. Even people that don't own gold understand it, can feel it, and when they hold it in their hands, they know what they have. And it's kind of an interesting story, and I digress a little bit from the article here, but I was out with a friend one time who's another dealer friend of mine, and I happened to have a couple Krugerrands in my pocket. Don't ask me why, I just happened to have them there. I think I'd purchased them from another person, put them in my pocket and forgot about them. But I was at a fast food place, and I asked my friend who's in the bullion industry, I said, you think if I mentioned to the cashier, would you take this? It was a Krugerrand. And it was a young lady at the counter, probably, maybe no more than 17, 18 years old. You think if I gave her this and said, would you take this in lieu of money for the burger, And I said it kind of half, I said, would you possibly if I was going to give it? She looked at it, she held it in her hand, and she got a big smile across her head. She says, sure, I'll take this. And I said, well, okay, well, I appreciate it. It was just kind of again, I let her know that I wasn't going to give it to her but I was saying, would you take this in lieu of this kind of thing? But it was interesting. She had no clue, but got a big smile on her face, and it was almost like she innately knew that it had value, just, again, by holding it in her hand. There's something special about gold, the density, the feel of it, that even people that have never held it before recognize it. But I digress again. Gold is one of the few things we have in common with ancestors from long ago. We desired it 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 100 years ago, and clearly 40 years ago, just as we do today. There are a few things we instinctively know about finance investment, but the need to own gold is one of them. Why Gareth Soloway is unbelievably bullish on gold and silver. I'm going to let you guys read the rest of this because it certainly deserves a read. And here, let me give creds to who it goes to. It's on Zero Hedge. It's done by Goldcore. Just type in "this will be the biggest theft of the century." It should pop up on Goldcore. Probably has it on their website as well. Nice job by Goldcore. Got to admit, well written. Sorry, don't make me to make you a bit dizzy here by going up and down like that. But here, let me mention one other thing here that they brought up. And again, we've been talking about this. If you stuffed cash under your mattress, no matter where the cash was from, British pounds, French francs, euros, whatever it may be from some time ago, and you stuffed gold and silver, which would buy more in the future? It's never been cash, folks. Never, ever. Okay, it's always been gold and silver. So again, wealth preservation. As far as investment, getting rich quick, no. If you're looking to get rich quick, you're in the wrong market here. Small fry in today's money. All right. What's really fascinating is the theft of over, in today's money, $100 million of gold was the crime of the century, but the 20th century, because there's no way it compares any way to the ongoing theft we are currently experiencing in the 21st century. I'm, of course, referring to the inflationary efforts of the central banks. Well, all right, this gets a little bit more intense and more in depth, but again, I really want you to read it. This is a quote that I like. They have the same amount of gold, it has the same amount of value, just an increased price, but yet $3 million in cash they wanted to steal would be worth significantly less, 3 times less than the gold they stole at the time. Great article. And not only can you read it here, but if you just type in Heathrow gold robbery in Google, or I have DuckDuckGo, I think it is, or whatever, DuckDuckGoose. And you can find lots of videos on the Brinks Matt gold robbery here to watch as well. I got to tell you something funny though. I was looking here when I did the search. Look, it's almost all YouTube. YouTube, man. YouTube definitely has this market wrapped up pretty damn good, don't they? Scary, actually, isn't it? I know where my videos are hosted. But a lot of good videos on the Heathrow gold robbery. I think you'll enjoy watching some of them. Just go to YouTube and type in Heathrow. That's the only place you can go. Heathrow gold robbery. I think you'll find some of the videos there pretty cool. All right, I'm going to talk about yesterday's video, which was, no, it wasn't this guy, that's for sure. Let's see, 2, 1, no more ad after that. Okay, look, there was my live cam video, my live Sony cam. I had the window outside, had a lot of good shots out there. The sound wasn't so good though, so forgive me for just poor sound quality, but I wanted to give it a try, see how it worked. Let me get to some questions from last night's video before we close out tonight. And here, well, close your eyes again. Man, that does get me dizzy even. What's up, Welco, Show Pro, what's going on? Rick Inman, thank you very much. Silverliner, what's going on? All Records, enjoy the interaction vid. Always enjoyable looking at physical bars. And I switched to buying coins and bars a year ago, well worth it. Yeah, the bird kicker last night, right? I actually was watching the video tonight a little bit. I think the bird kicker is actually someone that works there. I believe that's his job, to go around and kick birds. I could be wrong. That's bad. Hot-headed Joe, haha. Excuse me. The vintage Johnson Matthey was nice to see. And yeah, isn't that cool, that vintage Johnson Matthey bar I showed? It ties perfectly into the article tonight about Johnson Matthey losing that much gold, and again, it was around that time period too, so that is pretty cool. Celeste, yeah, you know, I do enjoy. I thought one thing, doing a video like that and holding these products in your hand does give you a perspective of the size with the computer in the background, yeah, it does give you a good perspective of the size. Hooch says, I think you need some help answering the phone. I need help doing a lot of things, man. Overwhelmed sometimes. It's been a long day too, so it's a long day every day. Omar says for a while they had 100-ounce BMGs. Man, it wouldn't be a 50 cal if it was 100 ounce. 100 ounce, that would be like a, what, 20 millimeter or 30 millimeter, or something along that size. If it was a 100-ounce bar, it would have to be. Miro Mike says I keep stacking, but the price keeps going down. Keep stacking on the dips, man. I got to tell you right now, that's the best advice, you know, in my opinion, that I could give, is that you know, if you got money to spend on precious metals and you got money to put into precious metals, you know, buy on the dips. Just buy on the dips. I think it's good advice, and you'll cost average in the downward fashion. Again, that's my opinion. So, and probably the opinion of people that are smarter than me as well. Mark Gottschall says, backing up my truck tomorrow. Good, man. Please do that. Take as much silver off the market as you can. Let's rob these paper barons of their of silver if they want to keep it this low. I got one of those 45 ACP 1-ounce silvers too. They're pretty cool. You know, I'd never even thought to try that in my gun, in my clip. I could probably try to throw it in my clip, but for some reason I think they probably are off. Anonymous Andy says the maples are by far the shiniest of bullion. They are pretty. Gold maples are very pretty. It's that design they have that some got that anti-counterfeiting part of it where they got lines, almost like rays emitting from the center of it, moving outward. They are really, again, very cool product. Joe says, that was great, we loved it. Thanks, Joe, appreciate that. Zipper Fix, what's up? Joe Mustang. No, I didn't dump the camera either, Zipper Fix. Thanks. Some of you guys did like the format. I guess I'll do it again, but maybe a little bit shorter. Maybe more product review type videos I'll do live with the Sony Cam again. And maybe, you know, maybe some smaller, shorter educational videos. I got to tell you one thing is uploading that 4K and editing that 4K video takes a hell of a lot longer than doing these videos that you see me doing right here. Flybone says Bay of E, yeah, E-Barf, yeah, same thing. Philip Stanton, thanks. I guess you like that too, the point of view video I did last night. Great buying opportunity given current spot prices, in my opinion. I agree 100%. Shep,
says, had you not mentioned the 50 BMG, gun guys like our watch have been impressed with your security detail. Oh, I don't have a 50 BMG. I can't tell you how many times I looked at, I'd like to own one of those, but I don't, I've got guns and I don't want to talk about it really, but I don't shoot a lot of them too. It's really tough for me to get to a range. And a lot of them just kind of go unloved and unused. But anyways, thanks for commenting, Shep. Appreciate it. Michael Matthews, what's up? Well, there I go, pointing at an APMEX bar. If you're curious, watch last night's video. It was called Inside the Coin Shop. I got to apologize, the audio wasn't that great, but I thought it was pretty cool. I like showing the product. I just have to figure out a way to do it in even a better fashion. All right, folks, that's it. Hey, listen, if for some reason you don't find me on this channel for something I've said, this particular channel, you might find me on this channel as well. We are here. There's our name right there. So if you do subscribe to that channel, make sure you hit that like button just in case, like I said, someday I just don't show up here. You never know, man. You never know. Sometimes people won't like what you say. You can also find me on here, even though, man, I got to admit, I'd hardly ever look. I need to go here and be a little more active out there. There is a community out there to be active with, and I can market myself as well. But no less, a couple places you can reach me. And you can reach me here in person this week at the Lakeland Collectorama Show. The Lakeland Collectorama Show, February 16th to the 18th at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida. If you want to attend, get your free tickets right here. Just click that button and show this photo at the door on your phone, and you get in for free. You don't have to pay the $3 entry fee. I think it's $3. But meanwhile, lots of cool stuff there: coins, precious metals, paper money, again, all kinds of cool stuff. And come by and see us there. It's next week. It's coming up really quick too as well. And where are we going from there? We're there, here, wherever we're going. Well, I think I'm going to call it quits, folks. If you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum, anywhere from $1 worth to millions of dollars worth of gold, silver, and platinum, we're the place to go to in South Florida. We're here in Lauderdale by the Sea. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. We have a traditional brick and mortar store. You can call us anytime at 954-493-8811 between 10 and 4 as well. We do cash and carry up to 10 grand, over 10 grand checks only, but we can get into that later. We don't really do much shipping unless you're buying larger quantities. If you're buying more than 100 ounces of gold and more than 1,500 ounces of silver, we can ship in the traditional secure shipping methods and use traditional forms of payments like bank wires, but we are not a online store, so to speak, where, as you can tell here, you don't see any place to click and buy this, buy that, and put it in the shopping cart. Let the other guys do that, but I will beat the other guys' prices like APMEX, SDJ, and Bullion as well. Well, that's it, folks. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. If you don't hear from me tomorrow, I'll do the video on Saturday. Though I got a lot to do on Saturday, I'll try to knock it out tomorrow. Hey, have a great night, and again, thanks for watching. Bye now.